This video will demonstrate what your Granny's Cookies site is supposed to look like after you finish Module 7. So in this module, we're going to be styling our header and footer and also creating some styles for your sections to float next to each other. This probably is the most complicated module that you guys will do. So just make sure you work through each step and also ask questions in class. So this is our fixed header, and so this means it's going to stay at the top of the page, even if we scroll. Right now our home page doesn't have any content, so I've put a placeholder here for an image gallery that we'll be adding later in Module 9, but you can see that I have the footer. In our header, we've added a logo, our website title, which would just be Granny's Cookies, and our navigation. The navigation has different styles, which I've explained in a different video. What I really want you to notice is on the Our Cookies page, we have sections set up for each of the cookies. They are floating next to each other and they are in two different rows. The style that I had to apply, so if we do a right click and view page source, you'll see that what I have on these is a section. I created a class called columns 30, and the styles for that mean that I want it to be 33% wide. So I put that on each of my cookie sections. On my fourth cookie section, I had to add, and I just did this as an inline style of saying clear left so that it wouldn't float up underneath the other blocks. So sometimes you have to combine. You want to mainly put all of your styles in your CSS. Just use class names and IDs. And so if we look at the CSS for this site, you'll see that I created my header styles. And so the header, nav, and footer all have the same background color. My header is in a fixed position and I set it to the top of the page. I want it to go all the way across so it has 100% width. The height of my header is 150. And then I have a z-index of -1 because I want to make sure that it stays above any content that's on the page as people scroll. I created an ID called home so that I could style the text, my Granny's Cookies website title. So all of this is just for that text. I created a class on the logo because I want the logo to float left inside the header. I created a specific saying if there's a link inside the logo class that's inside a div, then it's going to display as inline block. And if there's an image where the class on the div is used, that image is going to have a set width. And all of this is so that this logo will display properly inside our header. If we go back into the CSS, you can see I have all the different styles that I need for my navigation. And these are the styles that I created for my classes to use on the different pages. So I created a class called column main that's 75%, and you'll see what that looks like on our services page. And there's an aside that's 25%. And then here's how I styled my footer. The other section styles that we used for the page are making the sections in general. If it has a class called services, then I applied the border radius and a different background color. And here's where I styled saying I wanted the columns to either be 50% wide or 30% wide. And you'll notice here on the 50, I actually changed the width to 48 because in using the box sizing, it takes out the padding and the border, but the margin is still there. So in order to make it look right, I just changed the width to 48. And so you can see how that looks. So this is my cookie page, and I have these all set to the 30%. And then on our services, I have them set to 48% so that I can have that little bit of margin.